Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into two of Google Play's most critical policies, and honestly, two of the most misunderstood: content rating and target audience. Seriously, getting this wrong can lead to app rejections or even suspension, so figuring out the difference is absolutely crucial. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the two big questions at the heart of all this confusion. Then we'll break down each concept, what's in your app versus who it's for. We'll see where they clash, cover the super important rules for younger users, and then wrap it all up with a checklist you can use right away. All right, let's kick things off with the one fundamental misunderstanding that really trips up so many developers. If you're a developer, this might sound painfully familiar. It's so frustrating, right? You've gone into the Play console, you've declared your app is for adults, but you still get that dreaded flag for appealing to kids. The reason this happens is because Google is looking at your app through two completely different lenses. All the confusion really just boils down to these two very different questions. The first one, what is actually in your app? That's about its literal, objective content. And the second one, who is your app for? That's all about your marketing, your business plan. They are not the same thing. And that's the key. Let's build on that by looking at content rating first. Of the two, this is definitely the more straightforward concept. Let's call this the easy one. So the most important thing to get here is that this rating has absolutely nothing to do with who you think is going to use your app. It is a purely objective, almost robotic analysis of your app's assets. Things like violence, language, and so on. It's all generated automatically based on how you answer a questionnaire. So how does this work in practice? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You fill out this standardized questionnaire from the International Age Rating Coalition, or IARC. You just have to be honest about what's in your app, and then the system automatically spits out all those regional ratings, like ESRB for North America or PIGI for Europe. In this example right here, it just illustrates the point perfectly. I mean, your app could be some super complex financial tool made for Wall Street traders, but if its actual content contains no mature themes, if it's just charts and numbers, its content rating is going to be low. The rating is completely separate from your intended user. Okay, so that's the simple part. Now, let's flip the coin and talk about the other side, which is where things start to get way more complex: your target audience. Now, in this section of the Play console, you are making a strategic declaration. You are literally telling Google, this is who I want to use my app, this is my business plan. It's a manual selection that you make, and believe me, it has major policy implications. Think of your choice here not just as a label, but as a trigger. The moment you select any age group that includes children, you immediately get opted into the strict families policy, you have to use certain ad SDKs, and you fall under serious data privacy laws like COPPA. This selection is all about legal compliance, not just describing your app. Okay, so we've got these two separate tracks, right? Well, the real danger for developers, the place where people get into hot water, is in the gap between these two systems. When your objective content rating doesn't line up with your strategic target audience, you can get flagged. This table just sums it all up so well. The content rating is asking, is this app safe? It's driven by its assets, and the output is just a badge. But the target audience asks, who is this app designed for? It's driven by your marketing, and the output is a whole policy tier you have to follow. One is fixed. The other is a strategic choice you have to be able to defend. And here is that collision in action. Let's say you declare your app is for adults 18 and over, but your content itself is totally harmless, so it gets an everyone rating. If your store listing then uses bright, bubbly, cartoonish art, boom, Google's system will flag a mismatch. It sees marketing that appeals to children for an app you've said is for adults. So, knowing that, let's get really practical. What exactly are you signing up for when you select these different age groups in your target audience section? If you target children under 13, you are playing in the big leagues of regulation. You are legally bound by major laws like COPPA in the US and GDPR-K in Europe. You can only use certified ad SDKs, and any collection of personal data needs verifiable parental consent. There is absolutely zero room for error here. Targeting teens, so that's ages 13 to 17, is also super regulated under the Families policy. You can't show them personalized ads, for one, but maybe more importantly, you are completely barred from showing them ads from sensitive categories. We're talking things like dating, gambling, or alcohol. So what if you want to target everyone? The only compliant way to do that is to build for what's called a mixed audience. And that means you have to implement a neutral age screen, one that doesn't nudge or hint at the right age to enter. Then, based on what the user puts in, you have to dynamically serve either family-safe ads to minors or standard ads to adults. Okay, that was a ton of information. We've covered a lot of ground. So let's boil it all down into an actionable checklist that you can use literally today to audit your own app and hopefully avoid these common pitfalls. Go through your app and ask yourself these questions. And be honest. First, does my content rating truly reflect my app's assets? Second, is my target audience declaration actually accurate to my marketing? Third, if I'm targeting anyone under 18, am I using only certified ad SDKs? Fourth, if I have a mixed audience, is my age screen really neutral? Fifth, does my store listings art style visually match my target audience? And finally, the technical one, am I passing the correct age flags to my ad networks? A no on any one of these can lead to a violation. Ultimately, it really all comes down to this single question. You have to ask yourself, does the visual story I'm telling on my store page, the look and feel of my app, make a promise that my internal policy choices can't actually keep? Because when there's a disconnect, that's almost always when you're going to find yourself in trouble.